program is still Flipside. Today I have with me while I'm expecting the set of I'm still opening my antenna to see where to navigate towards to get the solar ramp. I don't know.
Navigate it well.
Okay.
Just tune it well.
Okay. To the west, north,
you should
south.
be receiving signals by now. You should be receiving signals by now.
Yeah, we're back on the blog, and we're going to have so many things to talk about today. I'm expecting Jide, who is also on his way. I guess it's this Salah issue, along the route of the Eid, you find traffic building up. So by now it should be easy, and anytime from now it will join us. Uh, we have a lot of issues to talk about. People are really groaning under these new fuel price regime, and the telecoms are also threatening. By Saturday, they are going to increase their tariff, and the electricity sector is also breathing down the neck of the masses. And I've not seen any government or private sector during this era. I bet your salary would have reduced to about just 120,000 naira or less now. So how are we going to cope? Even World Bank is also concerned about the plight of the average Nigerian, and they are saying that the subsidy would affect vulnerable Nigerians as much as you can imagine. In fact, they are also saying that the, the the poverty level has also increased to the extent that they are saying 4 million Nigerians have been pushed to poverty level in the last 6 months. That's World Bank. When they are saying something, you better believe them. So, and the curious part of it is, while the man that is just getting out of the system is saying Nigeria is very, very difficult to govern. But even the new man that is just starting a race, which is not even a sprint race anyway, but a marathon, is also saying he's been having sleepless nights trying to solve Nigeria's challenges. All these and many more will be part of what we're going to discuss this afternoon. My name is Dele Fanimo, the anchor of this program. We'll go on a short break now. Headphones money. That is it. Must I be knocking at your door all the time to tell you that? Yeah. Still Peters FM 102.23 here in Bodija, Ibadan, and the program is still Flipside. You see, how are we really faring with these new policies? The floating of the naira, the exchange rate as at today, naira lost about 0.3%, and naira is now exchanging for 776 naira to a dollar, which was what was obtainable in the parallel market before the floating of the naira. That makes it a single window for attracting the needed foreign exchange.
When we discuss economics like this, I try not to sound very professional because I'm not.
But you also feel the brunt?
Exactly. That's where I'm going. So I am not going to be discussing the jargons of economics. I'm not going to be discussing like an economist. I'm going to be discussing like a Nigerian. I'm going to be telling you how this situation is affecting my pocket, because that is the mathematics that I may not be able to tell you 2 plus 2 is 4, but 2 naira plus 2 naira I will tell
Particularly
you
in Bodija market.
it's 4 naira exactly. So I'm going to be talking in terms of my pocket, my capacity, my financial capacity, and how much of it has dropped since this removal of subsidy was announced. You asked how we are faring. We are not faring too well. Dele, we are not faring too good. Even the rich people are complaining. I was on Facebook like 2 3 days ago, and someone just posted that this year which means it looks like
The ram may not surface.
ram is not going to be killed. And under the comment section, I went there and I saw people saying that it's not only you, it's not only you, it's probably not going to be you alone, but let's just be moderate in everything that we do. And some actually even came with the injunction that it's not a compulsion, that Allah does not make it a compulsion for you. If you cannot afford it, there is no compulsory that you kill a ram. But how many families will be glad, will be happy? How many fathers will be happy not to be able to kill a ram for their children, for their family, this once in a year? In this once in a year event, an event or a festivity that you had like a whole year to prepare for. How many fathers will be moderate and will be considerate enough to say, okay, it's no compulsion on me. I can do without it. If you as an adult can do without it, what would you tell the children?
Especially in this climate where there is this communality that
exactly
makes you
feel
inferior,
less.
You know.
If as a man you cannot kill a ram, you are going to feel less. If as a man you have to depend on somebody to give you like part of, we are not faring well, honestly. We are not faring well at all. You have to buy fuel. Now you have 2,000. 2,000 is just going to get you 4 liters of fuel. Then, if you had 2,000, you are going to be collecting some change from 10 liters.
Sure.
If you buy at 195, you will collect change and you will have 10 whole liters of fuel to power yourself. Now you have to make lifestyle adjustments that are not so palatable. You have to trek some. You have to adjust with the children. You have to adjust the table. You have to adjust the diet. You just have to. And see, what pains me most is the fact that it's not everyone that is making this adjustment. There is still excess in some people. I don't know if you read Governor Matawale giving out 200 million naira.
Yeah.
An ex-governor gave out 200 million. I know it's probably nothing to him, because before you can give out 200 million naira,
you should have about 2 billion.
You are not
disposable 2 billion.
Disposable
2 billion.
Because I'm sure that is not all he's going to give.
Sure.
200 million naira without batting an eyelid. He just gave it out. Go and share it amongst yourself. That is not generosity, honestly. It's not generosity. They have kept Nigerians impoverished, such that when they now throw these monies at you, you are seeing them as gods. You are seeing them as lords and masters. You are seeing them as your benefactors. When on a good day, they could have used this money to improve the lives of Nigerians. They could have used this money to empower men that will in turn be able to buy rams for their families today. But no, they prefer to carry their responsibilities for them and make these men appear lesser to them. It's very, very unfair. We are not faring well, I can tell you that. But one thing I just hope on is the fact that it will ease out soon. I'm just hoping. I don't have anything to show. I don't have anything to assure me, but I'm just hoping and praying, because it will be to my joy. It will be to my ease. It will be to my happiness that things just ease off. Because Dele, honestly, we are not finding it easy.
Yeah, you see, for me, I think it goes beyond all this. It's within your right to assume that things will get better. But if you must do that, there must be some element of indices that you can really place your fingers on for you to begin to assume that things will get better in this regime. For instance, somebody was telling me that they have opened the land borders for goods to come in. It's still import dependent economy, and you can't cross the border without exchanging your local currency for another currency. And the major denominator today is the dollar, especially in this part of the world. Now, dollar is exchanging for 776 as at this morning. Even when there was the official rate and the black market rate, it I think it only went up to maybe 800 to $1, and it came down. Now it's itching to go back to 800. So have we really gained anything from all this? Because for me, we are talking about an economy that is still import dependent. We are not producing anything. Now we import even toothpick. We import basic things that could be manufactured in Nigeria. And we are now saying we are liberalizing the economy. Now you are only encouraging monopoly. And at best, you are also expanding the frontiers of making this Western world richer, and probably the Asians, the Indians, the Chinese, the Japanese, because we import from all these places. Now we are not manufacturing anything, and then you are throwing the naira just open like that without any check. It's just like the subsidy thing. Somebody was talking about implementation in Nigeria. He said, whatever policy that works elsewhere, that when it comes to Nigeria, it's a different ball game. We are just being optimistic over what we cannot place our fingers on. And where do we go from all this? The only thing that I think is cherry for now is that investors are coming into the stock exchange. As at today, as at close of market yesterday, there was about 493 billion naira on the stock market floor, and it keeps going up and up till yesterday, which is a plus for the economy. But that's at the micro level. At the macro level, it doesn't pay to any significance in your pocket, in my pocket, in the social circle. It doesn't pay to any significance, because for me now, this morning, I had to part with 5,000 naira to buy 10 liters to be able to come to this studio. And once I get back home, I'm not too sure of getting out tomorrow until I buy another one. And for God's sake, how do we cope with this, even when we know that we just have to keep going?
How to cope is is learning how to cope. Honestly, we don't know how to cope, but honestly, how have we been coping before? These are what I call them abstracts. When you talk about stock market exchange, you talk about policies that Nigerians can't feel. They are abstract. As far as Nigerians are concerned, they are just there. They are more of in the book. We need something that we can feel. But honestly, like some people would say that we should not beat this administration too hard early enough. We are still in the early days. And if going by
Then we shouldn't be too optimistic too.
Well, being optimistic I think, is being patriotic. For me, because someone says if you are wishing your leader fails, it means you are wishing your nation would fail. That means you are not patriotic. So if you want to be optimistic, I believe it's patriotic on my part. If I'm optimistic that things will get better, what do I gain? If I'm pessimistic, what do I gain? That means I'm just going to be. It's better to be optimistic and rest in that hope than for you to be sad. Because pessimism will only bring you nothing but sadness, discouragement, and you are down. You can't even forge ahead. But if you are hopeful, if you are optimistic, then you wake up every day. Optimism is what makes us wake up, rise up every day. You went out today, now you bought fuel for 5,000. Tomorrow you don't know how you are coming out. But are you not coming out tomorrow? Are you not going to come out tomorrow? You are going to be optimistic. You know that you are still going to buy it. Even if you don't have the money now, you know you have to buy it, and you hope that you will get that money to buy it. So we are going to just have to hope that things will get better. How will these things get better? Our president said he's working day and night to find solutions to Nigerians' problems. The president was in France. He was at that meeting, financing meeting in France. I believe that we should just, yes, we are always asking for time for our leaders, because we expect that, okay, they are just settling in. But before you come into an office, you have your plans. So those plans should be up and running as soon as you settle down. So after this Salah, we are expecting that the ministers will be in place. The names of the ministers will be submitted for ratification, then they should start work. Honestly, I believe that when administration starts fully, when governance starts fully, things might just get better. Things might. So we are hanging on that thread. I am hanging on that thread, hoping that things in the coming days, honestly, things are probably going to get better. You talked about the gains that we've been having at the flow of exchange, and the fact that investors are coming in. These are good things. These are good signs, honestly, and we should just hold on to these signs. We cannot just be closing our eyes to the good sides every time and just be magnifying the bad signs and the bad reports that we have. Let's look at the good sides also, the good signs for our best, for our sakes, and for the sakes of our children.
Yeah, at the sideline of this Paris meeting, the ADB president, Akinwumi, what is his second name now? Additional, yes. Additional. Also
AFDB.
Talked about, yes, ADB. He talked about the support Nigeria is likely to get from ADB, and he specifically mentioned the $520 million for agri sector. Now, if you juxtapose that with what has happened to that sector in the last 8 years, what we usually get is that we have sufficiency in rice production, we have sufficiency in sorghum, millet, but if you go to the players in these sectors, they complain that they still import maize, they still import sorghum, and they import some of those things. Even rice that you're talking about, I remember there was a time they said they did a rice pyramid. Shortly after that, they discovered that they only built around a cage, that there was not enough rice except the one they showcased, covering up that huge scaffold. Now, if we had sufficiency in rice production, there won't be any need for that huge investment coming from ADP. How are we going to get food sufficiency right in the course of this administration, that we will not be coming back again to seek for assistance? Because that's also at the heart of it. And also factor the fact that insurgency has really affected the agri sector. Nobody is comfortable going to the farm. Either you are kidnapped or killed in the process. So it's even a miracle that we have not declared state of emergency in the agri sector now. Now, how do we get over all this?
Yeah, before
you go on, I think the second guest is here, Jide. Maybe he went to see somebody on Salah before coming.
I didn't go to see anybody on Salah. I just thank God that I'm here in one piece. I had a minor accident on my way. That's why I'm late.
Wow.
But thank God I'm here now. I wish our listeners at home Eid Mubarak. And thank you for having me today.
You're welcome. And thank God you came
we
in
are
one
here.
piece.
Yes.
So, BC,
Yes, if we are talking about agriculture and food sufficiency, I think we have to have a deliberate, sustained, and sincere investment in agriculture. See, if they give you loan, if they continue, no, you can't just be throwing money at a problem, because this looks like just throwing money, 520 billion naira dollars. Okay, to what? There is no security on the farms. Our farmers are running away from the farms. There is rural-urban migration. How are we addressing these things? That was why I said we need this. It has to be a sincere, deliberate, and sustained effort at investing in our agricultural sector in this country. If we don't do that, we are just going to be collecting these monies and we are just going to be squandering it. And let me tell you something. You know, we've had reports that it's not the same treatment that is given to northern farmers that is given to southern farmers. You have a situation where fertilizers are distributed, they get more in some places, they get lesser in some places. Rice, what are they called now? Is it the paddies that they grow? That they grow, they give them, they get more in some parts, they get lesser in some parts. That was why I said you see, it has to be a sincere effort. We all should see that, okay, this government is ready. This administration is ready to invest in agriculture and monitor the investment in agriculture. It's not enough to just throw these monies and just distribute them and put people in places that will just steal these monies to themselves. Let us invest and let us monitor these investments. Let us monitor the farming processes. Let us monitor the harvest. Let us monitor how these goods are distributed. Let there be off-takers. The government can be off-takers from these farmers. We cannot be telling government all these things. They know. They know these things. Why we are not doing it is what beats me. They know these things. But we have not been sincere about anything in this country. We have not been.
Jide, we were just talking about how we're going to energize the agri sector. Now, the funny part of it is that people are even excited that they are opening up the borders so that you can bring in imported rice. And these are farm produce that have been kept in silos for upward of 5 years before being rebagged and sent to the third world.
And also chemicalized.
Yes. Now, lake rice was rolled out about a week ago in Lagos. You know, there is this immortal rice
I've
mill.
been to that place.
I've also been to the place.
I've been to that place.
I think we went together the day we went
together.
Yes.
I remember we went together. It's a massive investment
now,
by the government.
Yet we can't achieve self-sufficiency because rice has overtaken all other food as staple food in Nigeria. Now, let's take just rice for now. You know that the poultry sector is in serious mess now.
Big one.
You know, and only God knows how they cope in that sector. In the midst of this, ADP is throwing $520 million. Are you sure this money can really effectively turn around the agri sector, given the indices we have just mentioned?
DPC has said one germane thing that will help us, no matter how much we put in there, whether we are putting half of what ADP is putting in or we are putting times 2. One thing that we need to do, that and a very, very important ingredient is our sincerity of purpose. If the sincerity of purpose is not there, zero. Again, there is a fundamental problem in this country that we have not really come to look at. Our young men are lazy. Buhari called them lazy youths who are abusing Buhari. They are lazy. I was reading a piece yesterday by somebody who said he was appalled at the way the approach of our young men to work. He said a guy came to seek for his assistance and he said, "Oh boy, I have planned my budget for today, but this is my car. I'm taking it to car wash. If you can help me wash it, the money I'm supposed to give them at the car wash, I can divert it to you." He said washing cars is not meant for graduates and left. He cited another example that in his street the road was bad, so he brought in tippers of latrite to fill it, and they saw two young men doing nothing. He said, okay, can you spread this thing? At the end of the day, you get 5,000. They said, okay. He went out. By the time he came back, he saw them playing Ludo. How far? He said they couldn't get Chauvet to do it. He said another one came, and he said, what are you going to do? Look, this is my washerman. I know how much I pay him every month. Why don't you go and learn this job from him? I will pay and set you up. He said he's a graduate, he cannot do washerman business. Then he said, the last one he said was about this agriculture of 18. And the answer the guy gave him was, as a graduate, how can I go into agriculture? You see, until we change our mindset about most of these things, we want to eat imported rice. Nobody wants to eat local rice, whether it is good or bad. But a lot of people are now eating ofada. It is the same system they used to produce this ofada that they used to produce the rice we are rejecting. And like you said, rice have been in silos for 5 years. They don't see where to sell it off. And dump it, and they are dumping it on us, and we are gleefully buying them. It is a big problem. And I think the present administration needs to go back to the drawing board, think outside the box. This is unfortunate, like DBC said, a lot of things, not only in agriculture, a lot of things they did not have has advantage over the South. Let me cite a few examples. Look at distribution of voter cards. Here, you have to queue for hours on end. Over there, they just carry, okay, this is for Gimbiri village. They carry it to the village head's house and dump it there. Everybody will go there, they are convenient, and pick it. If you are my neighbor, I see there, they live anymore. Okay, sir, I know this man, I want to take his card. Oh yeah, take. But here, what do we do? And don't forget, it's the INEC that is distributing it. Their officials over there applied their own wisdom. Discretion. But here, our people want to follow, in fact, overdo is what is worrying us. You have to queue from morning till evening. And don't forget
sometimes you have to even pay.
Some of these people, if they don't go out to hustle, no food for that day. And you expect them to go and queue just for long hours because they want to collect voter card and because they want to vote. They will say, I beg to hell with voter. So all of these things, just like this fertilizer she mentioned.
When you remember that when this cash problem started,
they were enjoying it.
They were taking money to the villages.
And even their governors were telling them, even their governors were telling them, continue to spend this money. If they didn't collect it from you, those who are coming for second time said, when we come back, we will collect it and give you the new one. Those who are rotating out said, my successor will collect it and give you new notes. And they were doing it. I mean, you can imagine the number of people that lost their lives in the north as per the south during that Naira crunch is very, very low.
Insignificant.
You can't even count 10.
That's what I'm saying.
I didn't even read any.
In fact, I didn't read any. I did not read any. But here, even a hospital refused to take transfer, insisting on cash in Lagos. And the woman died with the pregnancy. So we need to have a change of mindset about all of these things. And I think this is part of setting agenda for the Bola Tinubu administration. There has to be a way out of all this quagmire. The government should provide incentives for our young people to go back to the farm.
Well, we'll go on a short break now. When we return, we'll be talking about this Obi man that is in prison. àmà gbọ́ bí tí òbí ti lọ intervene lórí ọ̀rọ̀ lọ́gbọ́n tó lọ
ọ̀rọ̀ kirikiri àwọn máa ṣe máa eléyìí tó wà ní kirikiri gan eléyìí tó lọ wà kó ipop wà dìpẹ́ndì kò yọ òwò ló kò tẹ̀ tá sí. ohun tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ against demolition though he didn't mention Lagos specifically, he said some states. Didn't he demolish Hausa shops when he was governor?
kádọ́kọ́ kó gbogbo Hausa lọ sí kọ́ máa lọ distribution ní north tó fi trailer kó kúrò ní Anambra.
Ṣebí tí Fáṣọlá retaliate nígbà yẹn tó fi kó àwọn kinní náà lọ sí Anambra nìyẹn.
Yeah, welcome back. Honestly, if we continue to talk about the economy and how we're going to get out of the woods, it's
in fact, if we remain here for the next 24 hours,
yeah,
we'll still be on it.
And we just hope, just like ADBC would always hope that things will get better. Maybe let's just queue behind her and let's
hope.
Wait for things to get better in Nigeria.
It is the best thing to do.
Yes,
honestly.
yes.
And at the same time, we shouldn't stop talking. Maybe somehow, somewhere,
yes,
the talk will get to the appropriate quarters and they would think about doing the right thing.
Yeah. Now, you remember this man that tried to stop travelers from traveling, saying that if Obi is not sworn in, that Nigeria will be in flames.
I remember him.
And they had to stop a flight for close to 1 hour because of him. He
because
was
of
arrested.
Get him off the flight.
He's been in Kuje prison. Now,
Kuje Correctional Center.
Okay.
Correctional center.
Now, as at yesterday, they said he had mental problems. That they are also giving him treatment. So maybe a psychiatrist is working on him. Probably a psychologist will also be employed.
All at the expense of
but unfortunately, the man professes to be supporting. I have not read anywhere, I have not heard from anybody that the man has gone to visit him in the prison.
Same thing with about him.
The man that said he's bringing in IPOB to give up security around Igbo interest in Lagos. How much of patriotism or support can be too much for somebody to lay down his life when he's not Jesus Christ for a politician?
Dele, as far as I'm concerned, all of these things are just nonsensical, honestly. And I must tell you, from my observation, majority of obedience have actually seen the light. And they are retracing their steps. They're just doing it silently, without making noise, like they used to make when they were full-time and active obedience.
As a matter of fact, some of them are even praying that the court verdict shouldn't favor any other person apart from the current president.
Of course. So it's taking one's liberty to the extreme, disrupting a flight because you want your man sworn in when number one, the electoral umpire has not declared him winner. Number two,
the court has not said
the election is invalid or the declared winner is not the winner. The court has not made any pronouncement, and to show your commitment to that cause or your support to your candidate, you have to hold a flight hostage. It is nonsensical. But I'm not surprised that they said he has a mental problem. It is where it will lead to that is mentally imbalanced. And the court has said he should be there for another 2 months. And the clinic at the correctional center should continue to examine him. But what pains me is that all this examination and treatment is at the expense of the taxpayers' money, at the expense of the federal government. The one in Lagos that you mentioned, I think, even you are talking of Obi visiting him. How many Eze Ndigbo in Lagos has visited him in Kirikiri? He has been on his own since the saga started. So it goes to show that there's a limit to which you want to sacrifice yourself for somebody. And that was why when I saw a video of a young lady who was saying, okay, you want me to go out and protest for Obi? Didn't Obi have children? Let his children go and protest for their father. Now, maybe it's their father's mandate that was stolen. Let his children go and protest and collect their father's mandate for their father. It sounds funny, but that's the way it should be. And besides, like somebody wrote, everything that has happened at the election, the presidential election petition tribunal, is theater of the absurd. For example, Obi said they will bring 50 witnesses. He managed to bring 13, and all the 13, rather than do justice to his cause, damage his cause even more. So I don't understand. I think our people need psychiatric examination to actually determine the extent of the workers'
Sanity.
of their sanity. Thank you very much. We need it, because I cannot understand, because of your hatred for somebody and your likeness for another person, you turn truth on its head. You see white and call it black. It's ridiculous, honestly. And I think there's a need for the courts to do justice to these cases, so that others will learn from them. The person who said he's going to bring IPOP to protect Igbo interests in Lagos definitely must have either been a member of IPOP, or he knows where they are domiciled, and he has their contacts, and he probably has been dealing with them. Now, I don't have any business with OPC, for example, and I will threaten you that I'm going to arrest you with OPC. Is it possible? It's not. It is not. So let the two of them, by the time the hospital says the man is sane enough to face trial, let him face trial and let the law take its course. The world in Lagos that is cooling his feet in Kirikiri, when it is time for him to tell the court how he wants to bring IPOP to Lagos, where IPOP is, because I'm aware the federal government has declared IPOP a terrorist organization, and they are probably looking for them. So it will probably help the federal government to locate
Their
headquarters and their enclave, so that the necessary steps can be taken.
Yes, some people are easily radicalized. They become so fanatical easily. They defy people so easily. And it's good that they have been able to identify that this man is not very sane. This airport man is not very sane. So we'll wait until he's declared mentally fit, to hear his
But from the layman point of view,
yes.
How could you just assume that somebody is insane? Because somebody who procured
tickets.
Was it from a layman's point of view? I
No,
thought
it's from the medical point of view.
What I'm saying is, for me,
okay, we are looking at it.
No, our own cannot hold now.
Okay.
So we are going to
let's
go
wait.
with, yes,
In fact, even you as a psychologist, you have not had the opportunity to have a one-on-one
with him. Yes.
Exactly. But now that they are telling us that
this is what the medical report says.
Examination has been carried out on him, and they said that he's not sound. He's not of a sound mind. I think we should just work with that. And this monarch,
the Ezendegbo of Ajawa Estate.
Yes, that is in Kirikiri. Well, his course is on.
But the case is on.
Kirikiri is not outside.
Okay. It's not outside. It's inside.
No, I was just thinking outside is domain.
Well, it's still the domain of
Lagos State.
It's still within the domain of Lagos State. It's within the domain of Federal Republic of Nigeria.
So it's not out yet.
Okay.
It's still there. Okay. But I think we'll just wait. I really don't like talking much about this tribunal, the presidential election tribunal going on. Exactly. So we just wait and hear it out. We laugh when we have to laugh, and we take notes.
Of course.
Have to take notes, because a lot is happening. You called it a theater of
the absurd.
Of the absurd. It's funny, really. Every day I read about it.
It really is. When a Labour Party witness is now charting the cause of PDP in the tribunal, isn't it funny?
Well, we will just.
Before we leave, I think we have to look at these statements by the outgone president and the current president. The outgone president said, if there is one thing that is very, very difficult to do in life, is to govern Nigeria. So all along, he knew that it was difficult and he was not ready to quit until the last day he handed over. And the man in the saddle is saying that he's working day and night, does it mean that they didn't prepare that they were going to work day and night? Somebody is going to face a marathon race, and you have just started off the block.
Dele, I think there's a difference between the two of them. One is prepared. He planned. He has been on it for over 30 years. The other probably wanted to fulfill personal ego or join the record books as a former head of state who became a civilian president. Because from all indication, in those 8 years, we can see that he actually didn't have any plan for that office. He just wanted to be president. And he rode on the back of his anti-corruption stance when he was military head of state, which in any way, as we have come to see it, is questionable. But this is a man who has been planning, praying, preparing for consulting and building bridges for more than 20 years for what he wants to. He said it some times ago, don't pity me, I applied for this job. So he knows that, again, don't forget that he has been a civilian governor in this democratic dispensation.
For 8 years.
For 8 years. Unlike Buhari was just a military governor. A military governor even before he became head of state. And, you know, as they came to office to enjoy. Then. So this man, this president has been a governor for 8 years. So he knows the nitty-gritty of governance. That experience has come to count. And he has made it clear, look, I don't want anybody's pity. I apply for this job, and I know what it takes. So,
just a parting shot from
yes, we are not going to be pitying the president. And the fact, I asked Maestro also this morning if Nigeria is really hard to govern. And he said if one prepares for it, it might not really be hard to govern. And a caller also said that when you are planning to come and do something, it might not be so difficult, but if you are planning to come and do something else, he mentioned nepotism, he mentioned vendetta, that if you weren't coming for all that, it probably would have been easier. But I think we should just cut the former president some slack here, because we have the sitting president also alluding to that he is working day and night, sleepless nights, to solve the problems of Nigeria. So it's what they have applied to do, just like he said, and we should expect that they will do it to the best of their capacity.
Yeah, thank you very much. All I know again is that Tinubu is like the proverbial bat. He's not as active in the daytime as much as he is always being at night. So I know that he's just letting the world know that it might be a little bit difficult,
but
then
he's prepared for it.
Yeah. So on this note, we say very big thank you for our listeners at home, and Jide, thank you for coming despite all the odds.
Thank God.
We thank God.
Adebisi, I hope to see you next week, same time.
By God's grace, we should be.
Dele is still my name, and say bye for now, and thank you so much for being part of this program.
Mommy runs last week.
What?
Mommy runs.
Mommy runs, yes.
Okay, that's it. We wish all our listeners Baraka the Salah. Thank you for watching us. We'll be back here next week. Bye. Okay, Mr. Oluwatumbi Olumide, Mr. Lade Jacob, Mr. Shegun M. Shule, thank you for watching us.